India, Microbiology Society India, and this is a weekly, it's a part of the weekly Google meeting which we organize to discuss about several relevant, recent and pertinent advances in science and technology. Similarly, in today's meeting also, we have kept it in the form of a webinar and on a very recent, new, yet a very interesting topic, that is virtual reality, the pedestal for futuristic science. And today's meeting is in collaboration or in association with SHRM Biotechnologies Private Limited. So before we go into the course of the program, we all know that how important this virtual reality or VR, this is a very upcoming topic now, and we all have been hearing a lot of this name, particularly whether we go out for any entertainment sector, there are kids and youngsters who wait for video games in the VR mode. So that is a small part. Apart from that, there are different educational sectors, the military sectors, the medical sectors, which are also relying or trying to develop this VR technology into their modus operandi or mode of action. So be it a offline or online mode, this VR is something which is like a simulated experience. And today we have two very knowledgeable people with us to discuss this on this topic, and I'm sure we are going to get a lot of insight into what we do not know about VR and how great it can be, because this is one of the stepping stones in the, or we can say the next milestone in the development or era of science and technology. So with this title description, I will definitely welcome all the members of MSI present here, all student and teacher members. And it is also a great pleasure for me to welcome Professor Arvind Deshmukh. Sir is here with us today. Sir, it is your program. I'm just taking part and coordinating it. So once again, formally, I welcome you, the All India President of MSI, Professor Arvind Deshmukh. And we are also happy that we have with us today the West Bengal State President or State President of MSI, Dr. Swapna Mukherjee. Ma'am, a great and a warm welcome to today's meeting. And myself, I'm also a part of MSI, both West Bengal and India. I'm doing the news coordination as well as working for the editorial team. So together, I look forward to a very interesting, mind-blogging discussion. And the course of the meeting we'll have two speakers, speaker one followed by speaker two. And then finally, there is going to be the QA or discussion round. So it is a great pleasure for me now to introduce our respected speakers. First of all, we have with us Mr. Kunal Vora. He's the founder and CEO of SHRM Biotechnologies Private Limited. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you with us, and we are really happy that you came up with the idea of discussing this in a platform of MSI, and we look forward to many such meetings together where we can know and discuss and hear from you a lot more. And the second speaker for today is Ms.Sreyashi Basak. Ma'am, welcome to this platform. And Ms.Sreyashi Basak is the business developer of SHRM Biotechnologies Private Limited. So we have with us the two knowledgeable speakers who will give us really a good insight of what this technology is. And also, I think we are going to get an insight of the SHRM Biotechnologies, which is definitely a brainchild of Mr. Vora. So we'll be happy to hear from him about this industry. And it is as far as we have talked earlier, this is an industry which is actually trying to bridge the educational institutes or research institutes along with the industry sectors. And they have a lot of state-of-art architecture and lab facilities where they are training aspiring students. So that is a very good lookout for all the students who are present here today. I think this can be one of the target platforms where you want to go and explore yourself and get placed further. So with this, I would I would request everyone to keep your mic mute so that we can conduct this program uninterrupted. And before we go to the speaker introduction, may I please request Professor Deshmukh to share with us few of his inspiring words, and then it'll be the great start to today's meeting. Sir, can you please unmute your mic, sir? Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for a nice introduction of the program. And actually, there was a little bit technical problem from my side. So many students cannot enter into the class. They were waiting outside the class. Then I requested Principal Dahikar sir to start the link, and he has added everyone. So
Okay.
because of that, the many students today cannot join, but don't worry, this lecture will be recorded and it will be uploaded tomorrow on the website of Microbiology Society. So I'm very thankful to the both speakers. The reason is that this is a very innovative topic, and it is required in all fields of sciences. Today morning I have delivered one lecture on NEP, National Education Policy 2020. In that it is expected that students should learn along with microbiology, computer science, virtual reality, and many other fields. So I will not take much time. I am thankful to Swapna Mukherjee ma'am and Pritha ma'am also for arranging nice event. And I wish to the both speakers, and afterward we will have this.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. It's always like we don't get a method of lighting the lamp here because we are doing it in virtual platform, but I think your words are good enough to light the lamp in all our minds. So we are beginning with the talk session today. Firstly, it's my pleasure to. Sir, should we begin with your permission? Yes. Okay. So first, we'll welcome Mr. Kunal Vora to deliver his first speech or the introductory speech for the day. Mr. Kunal Vora is the founder and CEO of SHRM Biotechnologies Private Limited, and he is an entrepreneur with a great mind. He is experienced with demonstrated history of working in this field of biotechnology and life science. He has been training students and aspiring candidates in skill development program for the past 14 years. And SHRM Biotechnologies is the brainchild of Mr. Vora that was initiated in 2006. And as I told, it has an aim to bridge industry and academia. And there are a lot of student training programs, a lot of research projects that are going on in this particular industry hub, which is placed in Kolkata, West Bengal. But it is catering to the personalized customer care service throughout India. And Mr. Vora has attained MBA and has associated himself with companies like Ernst and Young, Ocwen, Financials, AOL, which are all renowned parts of, we all know the names, and these are all renowned companies indeed. Now, at present, he's also the advisory board member of Amity University, Jharkhand, and he's also a partner, a strategic partner of USA-based edutech company, namely Student.com. Mr. Vora was nominated by the government of West Bengal to attract young investors into biotechnology and life science industry of West Bengal, and also on the greater part as a part of India, as a part of the nation. And he was one of the key select participants of Empretech India Foundation. SHRM Biotechnologies now is operating, running successfully, and it is being supported by IBAC with the joint collaboration with WBIDC and University of Texas, USA. So with this brief introduction, sir, I would like I would pass down the mic to you, and I would want you to begin today's introductory session. Thank you, sir.
A very good evening. Thank you, Preeta ma'am, for your lovely introduction. You have already given a brief understanding about SHRM Biotech. I would like to also thank Dr. Arvind sir, who from MSI, the president, who has given us this platform where we could interact with the aspiring students and faculty members about what the virtual reality and the need of an R on virtual reality is all about. I would also like to thank Swapna madam, who is the state coordinator and who's given the platform with Preetha ma'am to get us on board with this entire webinar. So we would like to basically get into the virtual reality, which is the set topic. And I would like to introduce my colleague, Ms.Sreyashi, who is our business developer. She would be taking the presentation forward and we will be able to take it from there. Thank you, Preetha ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I think we'll be having a platform to discuss with you in the QA session or the discussion session, which will be followed. So without much ado, I think we can move into the next part, that is the presentation part of this webinar come meeting today. So I heartily welcome and I pass down the mic next to Ms.Sreyashi Basak. She is the Business Development Executive at SHRM Biotechnologies Private Limited. And Ms. Basak has been associated with this biotechnology and life science industry for the past 3 years. Her primary domain includes R&D, that is research and development, project management, and business development. She has previously worked for Cell Therapies Private Limited, which is a cancer research-based company in Australia, and she was also associated with Biocon. We all know the name of Biocon Research Limited in Bangalore, and she worked there as a research associate. So I welcome Ms. Basak. It will be really a great pleasure for us if you can carry forward this session and give us an insight into VR. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Preetha ma'am, for the wonderful introduction. It was really, we had been coordinating for a great while now, and it was indeed a delightful time that we spent in the process of coordinating this event. I would also like to thank Arvind sir for giving us the opportunity to present on such a prestigious platform. And of course, Swapna ma'am, who I spoke with once, and I'm delighted that she also collaborated with me regarding the topic, and she showed that how interested the virtual reality technology was currently in India. So what I will do is I have made a presentation, which I will be presenting right now. So bear with me for 5 seconds, and let's see if we can start off with that. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, you can share your screen, and I think all the rest of us can mute our mics so that the session goes uninterrupted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the screen available to everyone, Preetha ma'am?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, ma'am. It's available. I think everyone can see it now.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll just briefly explain again. So my name is Sreyashi, and I will be providing you all with a brief but detailed introduction to VR technology. So let's start over. So virtual reality comprises of an artificial simulation environment. So the user who is accessing it can access it using a certain input and output devices, such as, let's say, headsets, which you can see over here. We are all wearing it. These are headsets, and the use of joysticks, which are in our hands right now. So we can use these to actually delve into the virtual reality environment. It is completely artificially simulated. So we all will be standing in a small room. It can be anywhere, but the artificial environment will be comprised of anything. So in this case, let's say, for example, it could be a lab, it could be a landscape, it could be anywhere, as long as we are looking through that headset. So what happens is, when I'm giving you this virtual reality introduction, what I want to consider at first is, 30 years ago, we did not know that we would be using mobile phones, laptops, and any kind of technological tools that we are currently using, that it will be used in such an extensive way. 30 years ago, we were still dependent on libraries and books, and we were focused on making papers like that. But right now, we know that our education system is highly dependent on technological tools. And right now, with the introduction of the VR technology, since it is still in the budding phase, we have not yet started to take it seriously. But now we know that in the next 10 to 15 years, virtual reality would be giving us an experience which will be completely mandatory and necessary for any kind of educative platform. Because let's see, the global virtual and augmented reality, so VR and AR in the healthcare market, is expected to reach 5.1 billion US dollars by 2025. That is 4 years from now. And this is expected to increase at a rate of $13.9 billion eventually in the next 5 years again. So it is increasing exponentially, and it is statistically, the evidence is available that how the virtual reality or VR technology is currently being and uptaking by industries and educational organizations currently and also in the future. So we, as a part of SHRM Biotech, we are focusing of using this virtual reality into our actual skill building and technical training programs. We will be focusing on this skill building programs and technical trainings in the next slides. But now we have to understand that since there was a tremendous change over the last 30 years, now the changes will be coming in at a rapid rate. The job roles will be increasing, the employability variability will be increasing, and we would be requiring, let's say the industry will be requiring skilled youths. So the youth will not only be theoretically and practically trained, they have to be skilled enough to actually operate in an industry. So we want them to be making decisions which are faster, effective, and which will be less error prone. And virtual reality will actually ensure that. How and why we will be moving forward with this, but this is what is expected out of virtual reality in our current nation's youth. This virtual reality will boost the personalized learning experience, and this will be a real game changer in the educative platform. Now, if we see its applications of virtual reality in life sciences or healthcare sector, there are many applications, out of which the most important ones have been highlighted over here. Let's say, for example, which I will highlight more, is the manufacturing part. We know in any kind of manufacturing industry in the life sciences, laboratories. So if we ask a question as to in the next 10 years, if we want our youth to be practical based and completely skilled, how will they proceed to interviewing into these jobs and actually working, making less errors, and that too without any experience in these labs? This will be enabled by the virtual reality. Virtual reality will actually help in many other factors, including the logistics, educational platform, research, study course, and as well as skill development. Logistics as well, we know that, let's say, for example, in a pharmaceutical industry, we would be requiring a packaging. The packaging is very sensitive. So virtual reality will actually give us an idea as to how that sensitivity can be maintained, exactly where the package needs to be dropped, in what condition it needs to be dropped, and everything like that. So educational active learning engagement and experience of students. Students will be playing as well as learning. It's an active learning process which they will never forget. Research, drug designing experiments. We can actually go inside the molecules of a particular drug and understand its structures with the help of virtual reality. Similarly, in case of study course, skill development, virtual reality will be a mandatory and necessary factor. Virtual reality in India, what SHRM Biotechnology is currently focusing on is to take it up in the biotechnology business. Why we are taking up in the biotechnology business is because the revenues have grown from 4.3 billion to 70 billion over a span of 8 years. And by 2025, it is expected to reach 150 billion. So we can see that investments would be flooding in the biotech industry rapidly. And VR would be a part of it, most definitely. India is among the top 12 destinations for biotechnology, and it will take 3% share in the global biotechnology industry. So not only VR will be a major lucrative offer in the industry, India as a whole would be a lucrative country where investments would be pooling in. The importance of science has been raised in the COVID pandemic, due to which the uptake of VR has increased, and the uptake of skilling project to make youths employable, just I was saying, in the laboratories of any less restricted pharmaceutical laboratories. Our nation will have this gained importance for all these students who will be skilled and employed. So let's take, for example, implementation of VR in our company. Our company is currently focusing on the uptake of life sciences to increase the importance of life sciences industry using this VR technology. We are conducting in-demand life sciences courses such as machine operator, production chemist, and we have run successfully projects based on the active participation of students using this VR technology. It is a real-time learning experience which we have carefully conducted with the students, holding them in our laboratories and making them understand how to work through this VR technology. And it is completely practical based. So it is not only theoretical that we will read it once and then forget it. It is practical and active learning. So they will remember it no matter how many years have passed on. So this will ensure that they are skilled. Now, if you look, we had run a particular set of VR experiments in our laboratory. It is highly feasible. If you see over here, this is a lab condition, okay? And this is all lab condition. We can see buttons switch on and off. So this is a very high-tech instrument where we are actually using highly crores and crores of worth of instruments via this VR. So what happens is students are allowed to make mistakes and yet not cause huge loss factors in the companies. Do you realize how important this is for any kind of skill development or learning program? That over here, they are actually going inside a restricted laboratory. They are using the facilities which is set up in case studies and sessions. They are given particular instructions as to how the PSSR checklist, as to what kind of checklist they will be taking in, what kind of machines they will be operating in. They are guided through this part and actually making them understand what a laboratory in life sciences is and how to use this. In a normal lab setting, no one will be able to invest crores of money and buy these equipments just for training purposes. So this is where the virtual reality will be coming in. They will be actually using the instruments but not causing any major effect to the industry. Over here, if you can see the program that we run at our SHRM Biotech lab, over here, this is a particular instruction. In order to select the button on the HMI, point the laser on the highlighted option and then press the trigger. So you see, these are very accurate, direct instructions given to the user to how to operate the machines. You can see valves with arrows on which way it should be turned. You can see the alarm on and off buttons. So this is very experienced, and how we can actually access it without causing any problem to the industry or the factory or the laboratory that we are actually working in. This will enable the student to be skilled before even joining the industry. So that person, when they will be actually working in a laboratory setting, they will be making less errors and they will have a complete understanding as to how that machine works. Over here, you can see that we actually ran a particular VR-enabled course, which is the production machine operator. Over here, you can see it's a theoretical idea. We were running a tablet coating process. How? You let me know that how in real life will normal students ever get a chance to practice tablet coating process at home? This can never happen. They have to gain access to real life laboratories to understand how this happens. And we are just enabled that. If you see, these are detailed explanations as to how the process happens. This is theoretical. And then students moved on to making the tablet coating process. You can see the buttons, the knobs, the different colors, the instructions, which the students are actually operating on. So they're not going to a real life laboratory. They are going to a VR based laboratory, getting the same knowledge base, completely trained. Over here, it is not any small primary gain. If they make a wrong mistake, this will affect them and they will be punished for it. And they have to move on to the next step. So this is the next step. So the next step is the next step. It's not that they have to learn they have to do their it's not include manufacturing operations of pharmaceutical ingredients, formulations, how formulations are made in a boiler, in a fluid bed dryer, how ointments were being made, how tablet coating, which they currently underwent, the packaging, safety and health work, everything downstream and upstream processing, everything was completely ingrained in the VR sessions and students were made to learn all of this. Some of the machineries that our students underwent to use was the bioreactor, fermenter, fluid bed dryer, granulation machineries for any tablet making process, and many more. So you see over here, students not only get a detailed understanding of what an industry or how an industry is actually working, they actually get skilled and feel confident about themselves that they don't only know theoretically or practically, they are actually skilled in understanding the process that goes on. So they will be not blank minded when they are appearing for interviews or any kind of internship. They will be one step ahead from any other who hasn't undergone VR training. So what we are conducting is production chemistry. What is the production chemistry? I just let you guys focus on over here. Let's see that this is a particular bed dryer, okay? And we want this to be opened. So students will have to open it completely correctly using this instruction. If they open it halfway, this will not happen. So they have to open this and then check the solution which was inside it. So production chemist, the role of a production chemist of how the solution is made, what are the chemical compositions, they have to ensure that the solution is perfectly all right and then close the lid. So every single minute detail had to be followed in this VR program. And this was the job role for the production chemist. Now let me help you see this. We were currently running the VR operations, and if you focus on the TV, you will understand how they were being conducted. If you want me to stop anywhere to focus on, you are free to do that. These are the arrows that are being guided. This is the PSSR checklist. This is a laboratory setting. The arrows help you to move around as to dictating as to where to go and which machine to operate at first and continue. The instructions are to go to first floor, ground floor, on which floor the instruments are. Everything will be given in detail in VR sessions. Over here, if you see, that was a display as to what the PPE kits are supposed to be. Because we just can't enter into any kind of lab wearing our normal clothes. We have to wear proper protective equipments, gears. And this is a different machinery. Instructions are written as to how to operate it. I hope everyone can get a view of this.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this person is actually wearing the VR headset and operating there. He's here in the lab, but he's actually in the pharmaceutical lab operating instruments. He's using his joysticks to move around the lab. This is a different lab setting. Over here, you will see how you have to move the valves, rotate the valves, in which direction the valves should be loaded, what the machines are which we are operating. Everything is given there in detail. Even the person is carrying an instruction manual. Can you see that? Yes, this is the instruction manual. Here the blower is running. We can see an operation via this headset for visual and then auditory. So instructions are given visual as well as auditory. Now, if we focus on what are the future benefits of VR, we can see that it is best at the moment for our Indian youth to move on to skilling for any kind of job roles. This, in the life science industry, this will be a very added factor, added benefit to their CVs, to their job criteria. So they will be understanding how VR operates. And we have currently seen that educational institutions and industries are merging to allow these candidates to participate in such VR trainings. So what will happen is, over the next generation, the students will be not only undergoing theoretical and practical training, just like we did in our graduation and master's years, they would also be going skilling courses, which will help them improvise and strengthen, hone their skills in actually operating machineries or actually operating in the real life life sciences industries. SHRM Biotechnologies is currently looking forward to ensure that VR is being enabled in the quality control chemist, microbiologist, as well as HPLC training. So HPLC, as you know, is a mandatory thing for any kind of tablet making or any kind of medical healthcare industry. And we are looking forward to introducing this VR technology in the HPLC training so that students can actually access and understand as to how we can operate these machineries. Similarly, SHRM Biotech is also conducting workshops and in institutions and colleges to uptake and promote the uptake of VR in these colleges and universities. The advantages and disadvantages of VR includes, let's say, for example, in this COVID pandemic, we are not allowing our students to travel nationwide or anywhere to actual field visits in pharma industry. So the VR technology will actually enable them to go visit a pharmaceutical industry while they are seated inside their homes. They will get their practical experiences, yet they don't have to travel, risking their lives. They will know what machines are there, what are the list of machines and how they are operated in detail using this VR technology, and their knowledge base will be completely enhanced rather than regular students who are not undergoing any kind of skilling in VR. In any case of future internships or jobs or any interviews, they will be completely experienced and they will know as to how these operations are being done, and it creates a particular realistic world. So it is not that it is very, very artificial, it feels real. So the practical learning, the active learning is also very engaging. It actually makes our education easier, and it is also economically feasible, because we are not buying crores worth of instruments in our laboratories. We are just enabling one single VR and then we are getting the instruments inside of it, sessions inside of it. But there are certain disadvantages to the applications of VR. It some of the VR equipments are quite expensive, which are majorly used in entertainment and gaming industries. It consists of a complex technology, so students or candidates have to be very careful as to how they are using this VR technology, but once they know, they can implement it easily. In any kind of virtual reality environment, we cannot move on our own. So when you were actually seeing the videos of our SHRM biotech operations, you would have seen that one person was assisting the other person so that the other person did not get hurt. So chances are you can't move as freely as you move without the VR. And of course, the internet connections would be very high speed. So not all areas of India this will be applicable until and unless we get our internet connections to a next level or higher level. In our SHRM Biotechnology, since we have successfully run this VR-enabled programs and we actually know how to operate it and execute it successfully, we have been given a conditional accreditation by LSSDC. The programs that we are currently conducting, they are given to us by LSSDC, and they have acknowledged our successful participation and execution into this. So it has indeed been a successful event. So over here, I will come to an end as to how VR is going to be a revolutionary tool in the next few years. And we want to, as part of SHRM Biotech, we want to embark on a new mission and vision, and that is to employ the use of virtual reality technology to actually upgrade the education and learning system of India. So we don't want students to completely focus on theoretical or practical visions. We want them to be actually skilled, to get employed, to make our youth employable in high-profile industries so that they will actually know what they are doing and actually make a contribution to the nation-building initiative, which is currently undergoing. So, of course, we are providing an enriched educational content via this virtual technology, and we want these students. So, in the future, we already know that students are playing games using virtual reality. So when we are doing any educative learning, it will be something that students will relate to. And it will be much easier to impart such kind of high profile skilling to students because they will know what to expect from it. So over here, I would like to transfer to Mr. Kunal Vora, my sir. If you can also provide your ideas as to the presentation and your ideas regarding the virtual reality technology.
Thanks, Shreyashi. The most of the entire content you have already well explained to the aspiring students. Now, I would just like to make one point. This virtual reality, as Shreyashi already explained, this is a platform where we can get, it's a luxury sort of thing, where you can get into a pharmaceutical lab, operate the machineries while sitting at your own premises where you have the facility of the headgear and the high internet connections. So this is what VR can actually do. It can change the mindset of a candidate. It can make him theoretically very knowledgeable, because once you actually get onto the flow and start operating, I'm sure everybody gonna love this entire modulation of it. So thank you so much for your precious time. If we have any questions, we would be there to take the same.
Vita ma'am.
Yes, we really thank Mr. Kunal Vora and Ms.Sreyashi Basak for enlightening us on this platform, because it is like a study of time kind of thing, where we are in one place and we can have a look, or we can have a vision of what is exactly happening in distant miles apart from us. So this is like a time travel story told in a very brief way, and it was really very explanatory too. But I would it's good that we take up a few questions from the audience this platform. So I will
What?
request.
Yeah. 1 minute. Vita
Yes
ma'am.
sir. Yes sir.
1 minute. First, I want to give a comment for this lecture.
Yes sir.
Uh, I watched or observed this lecture, and really I appreciate ma'am for excellent presentation.
Thank you
I
sir.
remember, ma'am, I remember that 8 years back, I started virtual classes.
Yes, sir.
Hello. I started virtual classes. At that time, there was a very, very poor response. But now, without virtual classes, we cannot work. So definitely, this virtual reality, although it seems that it is a beginning, but you, in your lecture, you have told how this virtual reality is a very, very useful. And let me tell you, again, I am telling today morning I delivered a lecture on NEP, National Education Policy. In that, they have given a special stress on digitalization and online education. Now it will be promoted by the central government. So, for this virtual reality classes, now as a president of Microbiology Society, I assure you that I will promote and I will recommend these classes to my more than 5,000 students which are in contact with me. I will tell them the importance of this virtual reality and I will promote them to attend your course and uh, be well acquainted with this virtual reality technology. So I'm really thankful. Now you can go for the discussion.
Thank you, sir, for your
Thank
kind
you so much,
words.
sir.
So we are ready to take up a few questions from the all the members who have participated here today. Whoever is like this is, we can definitely get back to Ms. Basak and Mr. Vora. It'll be good if you can. I would request Ms. Basak and Mr. Vora to kindly share your email addresses if it is possible in the chat box, so that like everyone, maybe they will take time to digest the whole thing, and when tomorrow morning when they get up, they may have one or two things that pops up in their mind. So we can definitely get back to you all whenever it is required. And I will definitely want one or two questions from the platform if anybody has something which you feel that you want to know, or you had an idea and you were not sure of whether it could be executed by VR. So we have Ms. Basak and Mr. Vora. They will be the best people to answer. Okay, we have a question in the chat box by Nilima Devi. She is asking that what are the softwares needed to execute this VR in colleges? This is a very pertinent and relevant question. I thank Ms. Devi for putting forward this question, because since we all are from academic background, we will be interested in transforming this whole technology or just carrying forward this whole technology in the colleges, in the academic background. So, Ms. Basak, what is your take on this? What are the softwares which we will be needing to
Ma'am,
execute this?
basically,
Yes, sir.
yeah, basically the softwares are more integrated by the company's end. They are not resellable in the market. You don't have a particular software to operate a VR machinery because they are integrated with the hardwares. So in order, what we have done is, because this can be a mobile application also, where we can take this setup to the particular institution anywhere in the country or globe, we can, provided they give us a internet connection which is a high speed connection or a lease line connection. Rest, because it's a entirely integrated thing from our end, we will be able to do a entire workshop or demonstration whatever is required in the college or the university. But like, it's not like a software where you can actually plug in and play wherever you feel like. It's a totally entire package. It comes with a package. You need the headgears, you need the entire infra.
Right.
It's like, it's not like a video game basically,
And we
because these
even,
are more operationally based.
I think we also even need high-tech computers. Not all computers support this kind of virtual reality for the education sector. If you're practicing this is a very sensitive information. So I think this will be only accessed by some specialized computers itself.
Correct.
So as Sir was saying, we definitely need a completely different infra for any kind of installation of virtual reality.
Okay. Okay. So, I was also in relation to what Ms. Devi has put forward. Like, suppose in after this COVID situation, there is a strong drawback, basically, that practical classes are facing, practical classes which we take in graduation or post graduation, or maybe some research practicals also. They are facing a drawback situation, because we may do a lot of theory over a discussion, but practicals we cannot do. Like, particularly, I was taking a physiology practical the last day, and it was very difficult for me to explain the whole torso, the pelvic and thoracic domains to my students just with a model or just with a YouTube video. So when you were showing that research design, where the student was directly being able to go into the industry and look into the reactors and how they are operating, what I was feeling is do you think that there is any probability of introducing this VR into the academic sections or academic sectors, so that the students maybe the students can gather in one particular platform, be it an online platform or whatever it is, and they can have that view of the entire practical session that is being conducted in the lab. Say two or three people are conducting it, and the students from a distant place can have a view, feeling that they are there itself, and they can have a look into the dissection process or the reaction process, whatever is going on. Is it possible? I mean, what do you think about it?
See, I don't think that trainings will be completely going obsolete. Trainings are absolutely required, and it is mandatory for any kind of industry. So in case you would know that any life science industry, you can't move on without trainings. You need on-site trainings. But
Right.
for example, what we were talking about is when high-tech instruments come in. So what you were telling is explaining a diagram, or maybe a 3D diagram of a torso, the thoracic and the pelvic. So we can actually do that using the virtual reality. Of course, training has to be conducted on site. Definitely, it has to be. But when you're using virtual reality, you can actually do that. You can do that. But of course, it will be an enhanced system to understand. So students will be actually pinpointing, understanding, moving around the human body, labeling it, seeing the labels. These will be added benefits of the VR technology. But if we move on, so other than that, a complete industry that is being continuously integrated, the entire life science industry, the factories, the organizations, these are high-tech instruments which no layman can afford. Okay, so you won't be doing a particular lab with a huge fermenter and bioreactor. There is no productivity in it. You're not making anything out of it. There is no use of investing so much of money. Yet, person, so we can say there are so many people, so many students studying life sciences, and yet they need to be working in the labs. So when I was in Biocon, I didn't know what kind of instruments that were being used. I went blind, and then I knew how to operate an HPLC and how to analyze a chromatogram and how to do method development. So this is what happens when students actually learn the VR tech using the fermenters, bioreactors. They don't go blind in any lab. They are one step ahead of any other normal student. If you have a college right now, and if you are enabling VR, you will let all of your students get into this and actually move forward than other students. So they would know actually what they would be working on in the lab. They know for sure. They won't be going in blind. So this is the thing. So up until now we had theory and practical, but now we will get into skill, actual building skill. So with help of VR technology. This is up until now, this is the most available at hand technology that we can improvise on in India.
Right. Absolutely. We have one more question put forward by Ms. Devi. She's just asking you that what cost investment will be needed in the entire process. I know it is difficult to give the exact numbers,
No,
but
no, no, I will add in that.
yes,
The same question. What cost will be needed if one college is interested in a training? Meaning is that suppose one complete college is ready to take a training. Now, which type of computers will be required and what they should more things should purchase, including your cost, approximate cost. Can you give some information on that?
So basically, if you're planning to make it on your own asset, the college has to buy the headgears through companies like HTC or Motorola, who are pioneers in making the headgears, which would cost you around 3.5 lakhs to 5 lakh rupees a gear per gear.
Per year. Okay, okay.
Apart from that, you need high tech computers, which would be around a lakh of rupee. But most importantly, what we trying to understand is the entire designing of the software. Now, this is very customized. For example, what Preetha ma'am said, like she's planning to conduct practicals of a college syllabus on a VR mode. Now, this can be actually made on a customization through a software based company where the approx cost of making that particular modulations, a stimulation modulation for the entire practical would be around 80 lakhs to a crore.
Oh, very costly at present.
Yes, sir, it is very costly. Now,
So,
if you
although
see,
your training is a virtual reality,
correct.
it is a very difficult to come into reality.
So basically, this is like what mobile phones were initially 20-25 years back. The headsets used to cost good amount of money, and the
Correct.
calling used to be very expensive. Like calling on a local
Yeah,
number, if I remember, was around 5 rupees to 10 rupees a minute.
more than it.
Yeah, more than that, if that perspective. But right now, it is free of cost. So this is how technology would be developing, would be enhancing the entire infra. So currently, if you see, sir, we have started a program on machine operator where we have tied up with a pharmaceutical based company where they have actually given the entire protocol of how a tablet or the ointment is manufactured from the API to the ointment to the final product. So they have given us the entire flow chart where they want people to get trained so that they don't waste that point of time, because once they recruited from the college or the training centers like us, they don't waste time on making the candidate ready because they are already well polished and well skilled to that particular segment. So this is where we are coming out of it. So now coming to another aspect where we have what we have planned is, because we have already made our investments into that product, we are going to colleges, we are trying to tap the colleges, schools and universities where we can conduct workshops at an economical rate where students, every individual students can get a chance to work on a particular modulations.
right.
Okay, okay.
Kunal sir, from what background do you think students can come in for placements, or like if they want to be a part of the R&D sectors of this VR industry? Is it like you said, software is a very important part. So software developers or students who have learned about software technologies, they will be eligible, no doubt. But apart from that, what is the scope of life science candidates to be getting absorbed in this developing industry?
Ma'am, if you talk, Okay, ma'am. Basically, what we're trying to understand is because we are doing a outsourcing arrangement with a pharmaceutical company. Any students of life sciences, whether it is a BSc or a BTech, or a MSc or an MTech students, can actually who are ready to work on a profiles are eligible to get into this mode because they need to give their entire content ready to us.
Okay.
And
And
So,
one
subsequent.
more thing,
yes, ma'am.
Pritha. First of all,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thank Mr. Vora and Ms. Basak for their absolutely engaging presentation. I would like to know, Mr. Vora, that what is the duration of courses you run? I mean, um, and approximate cost for that. The students must be eager to know.
True, ma'am. Ma'am, basically, on a VR enabled platform, we have two courses. One is the machine operator, and we are coming up with the second course, which would be production chemist. Now, the machine operator course is basically validated for a period of 3 months, which is accredited by the Life Science Skill Sector Development Council, which is the ambit body of NHDC Government of India. So the certificates are basically impaneled by them, which are more leveraged to the industries. It's a 3 months duration, and we have put the costing up around 20,000 rupees for per student for the next 3 months. So this is what we are trying to get the things out. Apart from that, there are a lot of free courses which are done by the government because we have launched this for the very first time in history in India, and government is very proactive, as what Arvind sir has already said, because as per the NEP, virtual reality would be one of the biggest segment where the government would be investing on. So currently through skilling, government has also giving a lot of opportunities where they are trying to get the skilling done through training partners like us in the country, where the students do not need to pay anything. It is free of cost for them. They get certified again by the ministry or the Life Science Skill Sector Council, and they also eligible for a stipend per month basis.
Very nice presentation, and it is a best opportunity to our students. At least today, we understood what is virtual reality, and now we'll try to percolate this technology among life science students. So
Right.
it is a very excellent talk. Now I request Pritha, ma'am, to please conclude this talk, and
Yes.
already it is being recorded. Tomorrow it will be uploaded on the Microbiology Society website and will circulate in all our 30 groups and Telegram group.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Absolutely. So thank you, sir, for telling us about the future of this program and how we are going to go about it. And for the concluding lines, uh, it will really be great if I can request my ma'am, Dr. Swapna Mukherjee. She's here, so I would request ma'am to draw the concluding lines and end today's program. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Pritha, for beautifully coordinating the whole session, leading to an effective communication between the speakers and the viewers. First, I want to thank our All India President, Professor Arvind Deshmukh, sir, for his incredibly insightful thinking and inspirational guidance. Thank you, sir, for being there all the time by our side. I'm genuinely thankful to our speakers, Mr. Vora and Ms. Basa, for their nice presentations. It's been a real pleasure to listen to you. You have actually commendably presented your perspective before us, clearly stating the central idea of virtual reality and the specific goal. I think it was really an eye opener for the viewers and they get your point across. What I follow is virtual reality has moved far from being the purview of gaming to professional development. Thank you again for giving us an overview of the recent trends and opportunities associated with virtual reality. Hope we can arrange another interactive Facebook Live session with you for the students unit of MSI very shortly. Looking forward to that. And I thank all the state coordinators and members of MSI West Bengal for their constant support. And last but not least, thank our viewers for taking their time out for listening. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was
Thank you,
indeed a
ma'am.
delight to be a part of this.
Ma'am, in behalf of SHRM, I would like to invite you and Preetha ma'am and other students who are in this zone of Kolkata to come over to our Madhyamram lab